having an unbelievable session at Weston Pools tonight. Dead simple fishing. We've just got some fishery feed pellets, and all we've done is added to them a generous squirt of the red Sensate fish accelerant. I always like to just give this a shake before I put it on anything, just to make sure all the accelerants and the attractors are mixed together, giving that a shake, and then to really boost it, I've added my favourite, the red Sensate powder as well. So that's made a really, I'm going to call it Sensate boosted mix of micro pellets. I'm actually going to put a few more into this because I've been quite generous there. Yes, I get red hands. No, I don't care. So these are now a lovely red colour, but there's that many fish feeding. What I'm actually doing today is squeezing these together so they actually go down in quite a compact little ball in a kinder pot. So I've just got a pole mounted pot on the end of the pole, fishing a piece of sweet corn on the hook. I've actually added a little bit of Sensate to this as well, but I'll be honest, today these fish are feeding that well, I don't think it matters. So a single piece of corn on there. Get sure that elastic's working all right. And then I'm just feeding these in a little squeezed ball. So I'm just squeezing them together like that to make quite a hard little ball of pellets. And the idea with that is it's going to go down to the bottom, the fish follow it, and hopefully we get a bite fairly fast for the cameras. So just fishing about, I don't know, 10 metres down the inside. Now Mike here at Weston's done an awful lot of work to this place over the winter. It was a brilliant lake this time last year. I fished it a lot in the festivals and matches, and it was always, to be fair, last year quite kind to me, this lake. I always enjoyed coming on here, but I think this year it's going to be even better. So you can see there that float's just trimming up. I've actually really simplified the shotting. I started off with a bulk and 2 droppers. I've now moved it down to, I've just got a, oh look at that, a bite really straight away. Incredible fishing. A lot of what we've caught today are, I think, new fish. I think these are like stockfish that Mike's put in. They're absolutely gorgeous condition F1s. See, there's one of them there. That's one of the smaller ones we've caught, but still a lovely fish. Just hooked in the side of the mouth, that one. So yeah, they've sort of averaged, I'd say, around about £1. I've had a lot of fish sort of 6 to 10 ounce. And we started off just feeding the bait loose in the pot, but to be honest with you, with that many fish coming in, it was absolutely crazy. So I've had to really sort of tighten things up. So we're just now feeding these micros, as I said, squeezed into a little ball. And it's a good tip, I think, any time of year this. If you think the fish are something, then just pulled the elastic out on the top kit. I haven't had that today. Just check that corn's still up properly. Yeah, we'll just re-hook that through the other side. That tells you how many fish are in here though. This is a great way really of keeping everything under control, keeping the fish pinned where you want them. At Fuka we actually do some squeeze ready micros that are all ready to go out the packet, and these would be absolutely perfect here, but quite rightly Mike insists on fishery pellets here at Weston, and that's for a very good reason. He doesn't want obviously trout pellets or anything like that going in the lakes. He wants to be in control of what's going in, so it's fishery pellets only here, but just feeding them in a little ball just helps you keep basically the fish under control. So that's now settled. I'm just waiting for a positive bite. There's that many fish there. What I don't want to be doing is striking until I'm absolutely sure there's a fish on. I'll talk to you a little bit about the rig in a minute. Oh, that was a fast bite then. Talk to you a little bit about the rig in a minute, but I've basically gone out of my way to make sure everything's nice and positive. There we are, that was a nice fish. That's either a slightly bigger fish, that one, or foul up. I'm not foul up too many because I'm feeding like this. It does help keep things pinned down, which is nice. So just a piece of sweet corn on the hook, and we're feeding, as I said, a little ball of these fishery micros that we've really boosted with the Sensate, and the fact that they're so nice and damp now means I can really sort of squeeze them in nice and hard and get them down where I want them to the bottom.
So Sensate, what's it all about? Sensate is about two things. One is getting the right attractants and stimulants, feed stimulants out there. Because we all want to catch fish, and we want to catch them as fast as possible and get as many bites as we can. And it's all about having the right attractants and feeding stimulants. But then the second part of the equation is actually allowing the fish to actually know that it's there. Because that's how they find your bait. It's visual and then by smell. So the faster you can get the smell out there, the quicker fish are going to know your bait's there, and the quicker you're going to get bites. So that's where the fish accelerant comes in. And the fish accelerant, I'm always a bit loath to get a bit technical, but it is quite technical. There's lots of things, lots of foods and attractants that are pretty much insoluble in water, like oils and fats, for example, but there's other ones as well. And the way to actually get those to be dispersed, you need something like an emulsion. And an emulsion actually makes those fats and oils in a very small size, so it disperses in the water. But there's something better than emulsions, because emulsions often use various food substances and chemicals which are a bit repellent to fish. So there's something called micelle technology, and these are even better than emulsion particles. They're even smaller. There's billions of them in a gram, and they are 1/200th of the size of an emulsion particle, which are measured, they're tiny, they're measured in nanometers, but these things are even smaller, and so they disperse quicker. So what's that got to do with anything? Well, I found a way of piggybacking the flavours and the attractants onto those little tiny particles, those micelle particles. So when the particles zoom out in the water at however 700 meters per second or whatever it is they do, they're taking with them the attractants. That means the fish know that your bait is there almost instantly. If they're in the mood for feeding, they will come and you will catch them. That's what it's all about.
So all we're doing is shipping out. It's only about 9 metres. You'd probably catch where you would catch, I'm sure, even closer than that if you wanted to. But I'm fishing just around about a foot away from camera, underwater camera, and hopefully you're seeing some footage that I'm making as I'm doing this. And then what I'm actually going to start doing now is lowering that bait dead on top of it with that bulk. So I think a lot of these fish are actually down the slope. There we are, that should be in position now. Look at that straight away. Absolutely instant. Incredible fishing. Weston Pools just really isn't disappointing. It's probably is my favourite venue, this. And this is probably my favourite lake at my favourite venue. So unique. For those who don't know this clay pit, it's about 50 foot deep in the middle out there. It's ridiculously deep. As the name suggests, it's an old clay pit. But it's just got the most interesting stock of fish of any venue I've ever been to. A big sort of head of wild common carp. They're absolutely crazy. Those haven't figured in the catches today yet, but I think the main reason for that is they're not getting chance with all these F1s. So you've got that big head of carp, and then, as well as that, you've got an awful lot of F1s, and these F1s go to sort of 3 or 4 pound even, big dark old fish. Loads of them in here. And then there's quite a lot of silvers, quite a lot of skimmers and roach, and with a lot of hide at one point. I'm just feeding that, lifting that rig out. You could obviously just let it fall into the bank if you wanted to. I just worry when it's as solid as this that that'd actually end up laying over a fish's back, so I'd rather just make sure I'm putting my rig on my bait. And there, look at that. Instant action. elastic wise, for the fish you've seen me catch on film, we're probably a little bit overgunned with a 13 holler, but as I said, there's a lot of those big, wild, common carp in here, and if we encountered some of them, oh, come here, if we encountered some of them, we'd be very glad of that extra power. That was just nailed on the side of the mouth. As I said, if this was a match, if we're doing a match now, I'd be thinking I could probably feed on a top kit or a top 4, even closer than that maybe, to catch these fish. I think they'd come to bait wherever, but as I said today, we've been having a little play with the underwater cameras, actually, with the GoPros, just messing about in the edge, seeing what we could get. Earlier on, David Preston was fishing and we didn't really know how the day was going to pan out, and we were feeding the micros loose. Just look what happened when we were feeding them in that way. There were just fish absolutely everywhere. I think doing it like this, at least we've got a little bit more control over the fish and how we're catching. We were foul looking a few fish earlier, which seem to have just about eradicated now. So just lowering that on top of the bait. Corn, of course, is a brilliant upbait when it's like this because it's so heavy, it gets down there. Oh, that one was on and off, but luckily the corn's still on. Let's try and lower that on top of the bait again. You could probably do with an even heavier float. This is a 414s or about 0.3, 0.4 gram float, this one. Oh, might have got a little bit over eager on the strike there. Let's come back and put another piece of corn on. So rig wise, yeah, it's quite robust. I've got like 017 mainline on here, and it's an 015 hook length and a 16 hook. I've gone fairly positive. I always think on filming days like this, when you know it's about getting some nice content, if I hook a carp, I really want to land it. If I thought going finer would get me more bites, like to an 011 or something like that, that's what I'd do. But the way this is now, I don't think a finer mainliner or hook length would make a great deal of difference, to be honest with you. So we're going in again. I'm just going to feed slightly higher up the slope this time. I'm going to make sure that everything's not rolling away from me. I don't think it is. And in we go. I'm just lowering it through the last few inches just to make sure everything's nice and tight as it settles. Oh, that was a lovely bite. And again, you can zigzag your line like I did there to get your rig down quicker. That's a little trick we used to do on Thorn back in the day when we used to fish the bloodworm matches on there for roach. That was lovely fishing on the Thorn Canal back in the day. As I said, you're not getting much better fishing than this. Look at that, it's a slightly bigger F1, that one, probably close to a pound. Maybe one of last year's stock fish, that one, but the mouth on it is absolutely gorgeous. Get him back. So I'm going to catch 3 more for the camera. And really, this is just a little video to show you a couple of things, really. It's first and foremost how good this place is. If you've never been to Oswestry, if you've never been to Weston Pools, you need to come here. It really is an incredible venue. It's to tell you about a new product that we've got coming out at Fuka, which is the trial size bottles of Sensate liquid. Now they're due to hit the shops mid-April. And the thing with them is, basically it's all about making Sensate, which has been a mega popular product for us at Fuka. It's all about making that a little bit more cost effective for people, because 15 quid a bottle is what it used to cost, folks. If you bought Sensate in the bigger bottles, then you know that is $14.99 a bottle, which is a lot of money. I'm a northerner, I don't like spending money. One of my least favourite things. That I'm putting the heating on, so they're probably my top 2. But yeah, it was $14.99 a bottle. So what we've done now is we've launched it in 50ml bottles, and we're charging $7.99 for them. So Yes, you're getting less, obviously quite a lot less, and value for money wise, your bigger bottles are still a bit better, but £7.99, £8 we'll say, puts it in the price range of a lot more people. So I think it should be quite a popular little release for us. Now, we do the Sensate in 7 different varieties. So we've got the red, which I'm using here, and that's just, I don't know, I'm probably still a bit hungover from winter. I used that red powder all winter in my ground bait, and I absolutely loved it. So I thought we'd use the red dye tonight, and that's what we are doing, just squeezing into these little balls. But we also do it in 2 other sort of dye colours. One's a green and one's a yellow. So there's red, yellow and green, all of which basically it's a Sensate fish accelerant, but it's mixed with dye. So we've got like a food grade dye mixed in with it to allow you to colour your bait basically. So there's red, yellow and green in that. There's the 2 originals. One we call original, which is a pinky hue that we sort of first launched. When we first launched Sensate, that's what it was, that sort of pink colour. So we actually call that original. And then there's a natural, which is like a more sort of pale colour, like a whitey sort of hue to it. And that's if you just don't want any colour whatsoever on your bait, you know. That's what that's for. Lovely. So there's the 2 naturals as well, and then that's a bigger one. That's, oh, it's gone through the fish's mouth into the net. Don't you hate it when that happens? There we are. Soon come out though. Beautiful F1. And then as well as that, we've got 3 sort of, or 2 should I say, speciality Sensates as I'm going to call them. We've got a sweet one. Now I like the sweet one, it's like a yellow, it's not got yellow dye in it as such, but it's slightly more yellow. I love that for skimmers, and I've been having quite a lot of success putting that on micros. Like back end of last year at Hallcroft, I had a couple of good sort of match weights, adding the yellow Sensate sweet, the sweet Sensate to micro pellets. It does give them like almost a sweet, brasmy type flavour, which I love. And the other one, that again I've loved, and it's been really productive for me on the Trent, is the halibut, which is a darker colour. Now that one's not just Sensate either. I mean, like the sweet, as I said, is boosted with like a brasm type smell. The other one, the halibut, has got a lot of big fish type attractors in it. I don't know what they are. David, I'm sure he said fenugreek, that sort of thing in there, like stuff that big fish like, you know. Oh, this is a bit bigger or foul up. I might have foul up one. I've done Malta. This could even be a rock or something. It's not pulling back at all yet. Could even be a snag this. Oh no, it is a fish. It's rock up now. It came in like a dead weight, that. Yeah, it must be fouled up, that. No, it's not, I don't think. Can you believe that? Side of the mouth. That's the weirdest fighting F1 I think I've ever caught. You do foul up the odd ones, but we have managed to keep that side of the mouth maybe, don't know. We have managed to keep that pretty much to a minimum. The way we've done that is, let's say, quite a nice short one, just a 5-inch hook length it is actually we've got on here. 16 SLWG hook, as I said. And that bulk just at the top of it, so everything's really nailed to the bottom. That's the crux of it. Leaving plenty of hook points showing as well, so when we do get a bite, catch them. So we'll catch you one more, and that's job done really. I just wanted to A, tell you about that new Sensate, them smaller bottles that are coming out, and B, just give this place a bit of a plug really, because it's just, as you can see, absolutely unreal fishing. Really enjoying this tonight. So down here to the right, feed in, lift the rig out, lower the hook bait in, didn't zigzag that time, but never mind, there we are. Oh, absolutely beautiful, look at that, I don't think fishing gets much better than that. That is an absolute joy. In fact, I said that on the last one. I'm going to catch one more. I'm going to have to. What else can I talk about? I'm running out of things to say. I'm just enjoying the fishing. I know what I can tell you about. Any match anglers watching, by the way, loads of festivals here at Weston that I run. They're all sponsored very generously by Tackle Guru. So Guru get behind them with some prizes. And we've got the first one at the end of April, which is a spring festival. We've got one in May, which is the Weight Master. We've got 2 summer festivals as well. Now the thing with these is they're a bit different to like most of the other events I'd say that I fish and run, in that they're very friendly. The emphasis, Mike the owner, is very strict on how he wants me to do them. They're always friendly. They're low cost to enter. There is super pools, but they're low cost to enter. So if you fancy a little go, there's about 6 or 7 through the year, and you can book them on the Fishery website. And even if you're not a match angler, if you just want to come here pleasure fishing, you can do that as well. There's plenty of very good accommodation on site. It's got a lovely clubhouse, bar, restaurant as well, I suppose, yeah, but you can get some food based in the clubhouse. The accommodation is second to none. There's a tackle shop on site. And then you've got this fishing. I mean, this lake's great. There's also on site, within like a stone's throw of where you stay, you've got the canal pool, which is a lot of bigger carping canal. Now, something interesting's happened here. Either something bigger's come in, or there's one on there already. I'm going to give it a second and lift up and see. Could be one on there already, yeah. I think that may have been on for a little while because the float was moving, but I didn't want to strike until I knew for sure. So yeah, Weston Pools, brilliant resort. Whether you're a pleasure angler and just want a few days away catching loads of fish, these lakes when you're pleasure fishing are an absolute treat. Or whether you're a match angler and you want to fish the opens or join me on one of the festivals, it's a treat. I better go because David Preston's, bless him. I don't feel too bad actually. Normally it's me doing all the work and him fishing, and I'm quite enjoying the fact that he's having to sit there and film. It's great. So we'll catch one more and then we'll sign off. So this really is the last one. This really is the last one. So a piece of corn on the hook. Plenty of points showing. Hard squeeze ball of the Fishery micas. So obviously we've boosted with the old Sensate liquid and powder. I'm squeezing them really hard now just to try and keep them fish down. Out we go to the mark. In the bait goes. Lift the rig out. Lower it on top of the bait. There she's settled and there she's on. Does it get any better or easier than that? Seriously folks, if you want a treat, get yourself down to Weston Pools. Grab yourself some of the Sensate. So it's somewhere in my eyes then. It's caught me so many fish these last few years, I literally can't praise the stuff enough. And hopefully you can see from this little video that it definitely works. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the bank soon.